My name is Vanessa and this is Half Curves Will Sew. In today's video I have a bit of a combined haul for you. I attended the Sewing and Stitchery Expo in Puyallup, Washington the first weekend of March, and then I also went on a shopping excursion to Portland, Oregon to do some fabric shopping with my mother for my birthday. So I picked up a few things at both of those places, and then I also got a package from fabric.com of some things I had ordered from them. So I've got a little bit of patterns, fabric, notions, all sorts of good things. So why don't we get started? So first off, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Sewing and Stitchery Expo. It is an annual event that happens the first weekend of March every year in Puyallup, Washington at the Washington State Fairgrounds. And it's a pretty cool event. There's people come from all over the country, probably all over the world, who love sewing, and there's workshops and classes. There are fashion shows and vendors, pretty much a vendor for anything that you could think of. They have fabric for fashions and quilting, as well as home deck, independent pattern designers, as well as Simplicity and Butterick and McCall's. There are people who sell a little bit of everything and people who just sell notions. There's quite a few different dealers who do things like sewing machines, embroidery machines, some commercial machines, as well as the ones you buy for your home. So without further ado, I think I'll show you the things I got from there first. I didn't buy too much because I wanted to really limit my spending this year on the things that I'm going to actually be making instead of just things that I like. So I'm going to sew more than I'm going to hoard, basically. So I got a couple of fabrics from Vogue Fabrics. I will put links to below to everything. Both of the fabrics I'm about to show you cost $3.99 a yard, but those were probably show prices. So I don't know if you'll find the fabrics online or if the prices will be the same, but you might want to check them out. So the first one I have is this rayon. Both of these are rayon blends, polyester blends. So this one, not rayon, polyester blends. So this one is this kind of like geometric pattern. It's really, really drapey. It's got this lovely mint green and black little blocks, as well as a little bit of this kind of mustardy yellow, kind of gold looking, kind of hard to describe the color, accent to it. I just thought it was really different and really unique, and I'm going to make a shift dress, which is part of my Make 9, and I'm going to use a Sew Over It shift dress pattern for that. The next fabric I got is this kind of sheer chiffon, like I said, polyester chiffon. It's a navy blue with little tiny sailboats, and I was, like I said, I was trying to buy things that I was going to make this year. I don't actually have a pattern in mind for this, but I'm thinking kind of a drapey top. I do have a pattern, the Everyday Elegance shirt from Patterns for Pirates. I'm making one of those. I'm in the process of making one of those. I'll show you the fabric for that in a little bit. And I could make another one of that with maybe one of the other variations, or maybe a pussy bow blouse or something. I'm not really sure. But if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear what you would think about making with that one. The other things I got at the expo were notions. And the first one is this seam ripper from Clover. And I don't know if you can see it there. So I do not like those little tiny seam rippers that you seem to be able to get for free everywhere, or 99 cents. This one's about $4, but I find that it's really comfortable to hold, and it has this nice little black grip on it. I find it just really nice to hold while I'm doing ripping seams, and we all know we don't like to, but we all end up doing it. So having a nice comfortable seam ripper is always a good thing to have on hand. And it's always good to change them out every so often because they do get dull. And then I have two papers that I got. Both of these are for tracing patterns. The first one is this really wide, I doubt it's all in the frame, it's like 36 inches long. It is, actually it's longer than that. I don't know. It's tall. Maybe 45, I'm not sure. It is kind of a thick weight paper, a little thinner than butcher paper, but it is still see-through, so you can trace patterns on it. But it holds up really well when doing alterations, and I tend to trace all of my patterns so that I keep the originals intact, so in case I make a mistake I can always go back to the original pattern and retrace out the step, or if I need to do another size. Also I got this Swedish tracing paper, and this one's a little different. It's kind of reminds me of like a sew-in interfacing. It's really strong and it tears, but it takes a lot to tear. But it's really kind of hard to tell on the roll, but it drapes kind of like maybe a quilting cotton consistency when you sew it. So it will sew up really nicely, and it doesn't leave perforations like you would normally get sewing paper. So I find it really handy if I need to do a quick fitting on a woven garment that's light to medium weight fabric, just so that I can test out alterations without having to use fabric. I find it really handy, and it's also good if you're going to use a pattern over and over again because it is really durable. So the last thing I have to show you from the expo was this little grab bag that I got from the Clover Company. I got it from, I took a class called Tool School. I'll leave a link down below to it. It's a pretty interesting talk from one of the sales managers, I think the senior sales manager from Clover, who make all sorts of lovely notions like the beautiful seam ripper I got. So they gave us some thread. So I've got a couple of different kinds. This one here is a polyester, and it's in a forest green. In a forest green. And then I'm not sure what this one is. I think it's also just a polyester, and it's a gray. Nice light gray there. And then these next two are cotton. They're a silk finish cotton. This one's in a bright yellow. And this one's kind of in a coppery color. It's really pretty. Not sure exactly what I'll do with all of these. I don't sew with a lot of cotton thread because for the most part I sew things that have at least a little bit of polyester, and I find the polyester threads are a little bit stronger. They don't shred as much in my machine. But it was really nice, and they were free, so can't really beat it. So next up I have some things I got in Portland, Oregon. So my birthday was on the 9th, and my mother lives in Salem, Oregon. She was unable to make it up to the Sew Expo, so we met in Portland and did a little shopping. We started at Fabric Depot, but I didn't find anything that I really, really wanted there. They do have lots of lovely things, but I'm trying to stick to my promise to only buy things that I'm intending to make, so I didn't find anything that I was looking for there. The next stop was Bolt, which is in the Alberta neighborhood in Portland. And I really recommend going there. It's a great store. Lots and lots of different types of fabric, both for apparel and quilting and a little bit of home deck. They have a good selection of notions as well as a ton of indie patterns, which I found really helpful because I got the Sew Over It shift dress in a printed pattern. I've not found this anywhere in Seattle, so I was really happy to be able to find it because I didn't want to do this in a PDF. I really wanted a printed pattern, and I didn't really want to ship it from England, so I'm really happy that they had this. They had all sorts of independent companies too. No Butterick or McCall or Vogue, but pretty much all the other independent pattern companies you could think of, they had at least something from them, and probably quite a few that you've never heard of. But really nice stuff. I was actually quite surprised with the pattern selection. I usually find smaller stores like that have a very limited selection of patterns. So I was really happy to see that. So this is, I was going to make with this fabric. Woo. So these two are going to go together. So So that's nice. The next stop was Josephine Dry Goods. And Josephine Dry Goods is a very nice store, a little bit more high-end than Bolt. They have a lot of Liberty London things, but I was looking for some Liberty Lawn, but it was a little bit out of my price range, $40 a yard, and I was looking for 2.5 yards, and I couldn't really justify a cotton dress being over $80 to make, so I just ended up picking a couple other things up. I first got this Merchant & Mills Tailor's chalk. It's just a white chalk. I am a little low on light colored chalk, so I picked one of those up. And then I found this purple lace. And it's a little different lace. It's not real delicate. And it's got this kind of spotted pattern on it. I really was drawn to the color and the simplicity of the lace, but I don't really have an idea of what I'm going to do with it. I only picked up a yard, and I was at first thinking maybe doing like an over, not skirt, but like of a bodice, like an over bodice with an underlining underneath it. Something simple, but the dress I was thinking of, it's made out of a Ponte Roma, and it's a little thick because it's a self-lined fabric, or self-lined bodice, and I didn't want to add any more bulk to it. So I'm kind of open to suggestions on what you think I could do with it. At this point, I'm kind of at a loss, maybe sleeves or an inset in the back. I have a knit dress that has like a macrame back inset. So maybe something like that. But if you have any ideas, please leave me a comment down below. I'd greatly appreciate that. And then we went to the Mills End store. So the Mills End store has two locations. One is in Beaverton, and that's the one we went to. I'm going to link their website down below. They don't do online sales, but they do say that if you call them, they will ship. They'll do phone orders for shipping. But if you can get there, either location, you really should check it out. It's a really, really cool place. They've got everything. Everything. I mean, home deck. They have fabric for outerwear. They have knits and cottons and pretty much anything you can think of. Special occasion fabrics, lingerie fabrics, all sorts of really cool things. So I picked up a couple of things there. The first is this kind of polyester. It's this lovely coral color with these pretty little kitty cats on it. I'm going to pull it closer to see if you can see the kitty cats a little bit better. So I go back and forth whether the bows are black or navy. It kind of depends on the light that I'm in. If it is black, it's not a real deep, true black. But I really liked it. I thought it was really, really cute. And at first I thought of maybe doing a blouse with it. But then I decided I wanted to do like a nightgown. So that is part of my Make 9. I had a different pattern in mind, but I found another one that has some lace detail on it that I thought was really pretty. So I got this lace, and I'll show you if you can see that. It's pretty detailed, but it's a nice kind of a swirl pattern, not so floral. But I liked it. It's kind of Art Deco. And I thought that went really well with the cats. So that one I was going to do this, I can't remember the name of the pattern, but I'll put it right here. It's just a little nightgown slip from Seamwork Patterns. And then I have the fabric.com stuff. So I had ordered a bunch of stuff at the end of February for things I'm making in March. And it took a couple weeks to get to me, and I decided to wait to cut them out until I did this video. So let's do those. So the first one I have is this white hatchy knit. It's a sweater knit. I plan to make a cardigan out of this. And it's really got a nice drape to it, but it's much thinner than I thought. Kind of sheer. So I don't know if I'm going to have to like self-line it. kind of double it up to make it a little thicker, or if I might dye it a darker color. I had originally wanted to get navy, but decided to get the white instead because I couldn't find any navy that was just plain navy without a different color going through it. So I will see what I can do with this. I'm leaning toward just, if I have enough, just doubling it up because I did get quite a bit of it. I think I got 3 yards of it. So that's that. And I was going to make the Jenna cardigan from Muse Patterns. I'll put the picture right over there. So I really like the one with the yoke and the midway. So this pattern has 2 different length variations, 3 different sleeve variations, and then it has a variation for the yoke. And then I also got the add-on that has a variation for collar. So I find I'm going to really get my money out of this pattern and make it a whole bunch of times. It looks really, really nice. I didn't have to make too many adjustments to the patterns. So next up I have this light aqua rayon challis. I just took this out of the package, so it's kind of wrinkled. Haven't pre-washed it yet. But I got this to do the sew over, not the sew over, but the Everyday Elegance top from Pattern for Pirates, and I'll put that over there. And this again is a really versatile pattern. There's 2 different neckline finishes. You can do a bias binding or a collar. And then the bias binding, you have the regular bias binding or one with a long tie. It also comes in 2 lengths, tunic or dress. And you can also do a waist tie on either the dress or the tunic. So it's, and then there's like 3 sleeve variations with tab collar on one of them, or a tab sleeve on one of them. So it's quite versatile, and again, I didn't have to do very many alterations because their pattern line is very extensive for sizes anyways. So that's that one. And then I got this chambray. So it's a real lightweight chambray in a nice deep navy color. I got this to make a shift dress. No, not shift dress, a shirt dress. And I'm doing the Simplicity shirt dress from Mimi G. I'll pop a picture over here. It's 8084 is the pattern number. And I had originally picked in my Make 9 a different Mimi G shirt dress. But when I was shopping for the pattern itself, I found this one, and I like this one a little bit better. I'm going to do the shorter version of the 2, and I figured it'd be really nice for spring, summer here in Washington. And finally, I have this dark aqua teal colored jersey knit. It's a rayon jersey. It's nice and drapey. Just a little bit of rayon cotton blend, I think. And I'm going to use this to do this Knit Essentials pattern from Alice in Glass. And I got this pattern because I wanted to do a series of fitting videos for the channel. And this is going to be the first one, and it's really quite interesting the way the pattern is put together. I'm going to do a whole video on it, so I'll get to that. I'll get more in depth. But basically, you start with a t-shirt dress that you make a muslin out of, and then you build from there other variations. Well, that's it for today. If you're interested in following along on the Fit series, be sure to sign up for a subscription, and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll know when all the videos are posted. I try to post on Wednesday, but I've been a little busy last couple of weeks. So this one should go up today, which is Thursday the 17th. And then I'm aiming to do the first installment of the Fit series for Saturday or Sunday morning. So be sure to look for that. But until next time, happy sewing.